Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War World Lore event, week 1, day 7. So, the last day of our first ever of this event, and yeah, it's obviously still scaled very weirdly. They didn't end up adjusting it anytime throughout this week, and for that reason, we are not completed with it, even though we had multiple people in the guild who did tier 6. Anyone who's above me right now did tier 6. So that's a lot of tier 6s that were done in this guild. Not to mention decently high scores all around. But yeah, it's a really weird leaderboard to say the least. But yeah, we did not get the final tier. However, if you buy, or this final stages to say. However, if you buy tier 6 and get stage 11, that is enough for 3 medals. So going into tomorrow, which will be pretty relevant as it transfers over, we will have 3 medals of seasons. These 3 medals of chiefs, which currently do 160% extra skull damage for this current event, will be transferred over to 3 medals of season, or however many you have, of course, which will be 4 to all, or not all stats, but 4 to attack, life, and armor. So everything except magic, but still really high. Has the 8 durability overall that the other durability medals have, also having an additional 4 attack, which is currently the same amount that Arachnia has, even though that might be adjusted into the future. But yeah, it ends up panning out to be very nice. And we'll finally have that for the first time tomorrow, which is pretty much the last thing that we're getting in this most recent patch that ended up happening, the Medals of Seasons, which still is not in the game, but will be officially as of tomorrow, so we got that to look forward to. But anyways, we'll go over other event spoilers, but before we do, let's go and say hello to all the peoples. Hello, Bill Warhammer! Well, yeah, Army X2, hope all of you have been staying safe out there. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, hello, Captain. And hello, everyone else. What was the question? What team did you use for the 505 achievement? I ended up using Cedric Triple Egg Thief, I'm pretty sure. I pretty much just kept spamming Egg Thief against, I believe, it Explore 10 or Explore 12 battle. And basically, we just kept Egg Thiefing over and over again. Or sorry, it was Cedric up front. Yeah, I think it was double Cedric, Egg Thief, or I did Cedric Triple Egg Thief. 1 to 2. Basically, I just kept spamming Egg Thief over and over again until we won. You have to specifically find a battle that has single target, so that they'll target your first slot rather than your Egg Thieves, because they'll target your egg instead. So ideally, you want to find a battle that's like Explore 12 with single targets, so that they won't ever hit your thieves, but they'll keep constantly hitting your resummon, so that you don't end up dying to them. And also, you need a stronger battle like that, so you don't end up killing them, because obviously over time from her ability, she would end up chipping them down to death, and you need them to have high enough stats that they won't just die from the constant damage that you're doing back to them. So that's what I ended up doing, basically. I forget exactly where I did it, but any battle you can find that doesn't have anything that's multi-hit or anything that would hit a stealthy Egg Thief is the one that you'd want to go for. Pretty much just upfront damage or single target damage is what you want to find a battle of to do that achievement with. But anyways, spoilers for that. My gosh. Now, 1 second. Anyways, where was I? Okay, so troops for next week. So this thing actually has a really amazing art. I really hate that its ability is useless, because this would have been a really cool bird in the game. It still is a very cool bird in the game, but it's dead content. Human malware. But this is Lyrieth. She'll be the ultra coming in for Glory next week. Tacet's been eating too many cherries. But as far as what it does, it's kind of like that. It's really similar to that one Mimic Troop from Mirrored Halls. So that one that gets to copy one of your enemies or one of your allies at a % chance. Well, actually, I guess this one technically does it to enemy. It's more like that one single target one from that hall of Mirrored Halls. But still, anyways, what it does is it gives a bunch of life and magic to all your yellow allies. The fact that it's restricted just to yellow is quite unfortunate. And then there's a 35% chance to summon a copy of the first enemy. So pretty decent chance. Still a little bit towards the lower side, but you know, it's still a chance. They'll end up just getting a summon of whatever your enemy is, up front tank. So this could potentially be okay. It's probably never going to be used though. It's obviously only good for pretty much yellow Guild War Day. and it just seems too situational to really be able to get be used. Has immune to silence, has light storm at start of battle, which obviously is good, and air link, which is good. So its final 2 traits really nice. I think its ability is just a little bit too low impact to bother using. If the percent chance to summon an enemy copy was like 100%, and the ability was just a little bit more, even if it was going to be yellow restricted, at least make it like a little bit more than that. But I don't know, it just seems overall a little bit too underwhelming to be functional. I really love the art of this thing though, which is quite unfortunate that it is going to be dead content. But that is what it is. But anyways, that's that thing. Other than that, we get Doomed Gravel. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't this the first one of the splash damage weapons, if I'm not mistaken? I have I knew we were going to be getting these for a while, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one of them. But basically, these weapons are relatively useless, but slightly less so than some of the other Doom weapons, but still probably useless enough that I would say don't bother upgrading them and just do the 6 Doom weapons. However, the 6 Doom weapons that create Doom Skulls with full AoE. However, this thing's okay, kind of. It deals heavy splash damage, which means it does full damage to whatever it targets, and 75% damage to the 2 adjacents to an enemy. It then does +4 per tempering level to its damage. So with all 10 tempering levels, that would theoretically be 40 additional damage to what you hit, and 30 additional damage to the 2 adjacents, meaning it gains 100 overall additional damage from being fully maxed out, and then stuns all yellow enemies, and cleanses all yellow allies. It then explodes 4 gems, and if the enemy has a Doom, explode 3 more. So it's a little mix of everything. It kind of reminds me almost like a Infernus in a way, just with like weird other conditions, and not as much mana accumulation, and different traits. But yeah, as far as these weapons are concerned, they're probably the second best type of weapons that are going to be added into the game, as far as Doom weapons are concerned. Obviously, the absolute best by 1.5 miles are these 6 Doom weapons with full AoE, but these probably take second as far as every other weapon type that currently exists underneath Doom weapons. So, do you upgrade these? I'm not sure. I'm probably going to be hesitant to, but given that these are likely the weapons we're going to be getting over the next 6 months, I might consider it. Just because we're starting to get an excess of those color things, and to such a degree that, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to get, like, what, another 30-something? And I believe they only need, how much to upgrade? So let's go to the weapons real quick. Go over to any Doom weapon, doesn't matter which one it really is, as long as it's not upgraded. So let's go to this one. So as we can see from here, if we go under this, it requires 55 spear of the one. Oh, never mind, we probably won't have enough then. Never mind, we probably won't upgrade these then. I thought we had a little bit more than that amount of deed things. But let's see. How many are we actually at specifically for yellow? And this will go up by, I forget how many you get during the event. I think like 30-something will end up going up by over the course of the event. Where'd it go? So yeah, it would go up by 30-something. So yeah, maybe I'll hold off, because that's actually not enough. Because if it needs 55, then I'm not sure if we'd actually cover the gap when it comes up again. So yeah, I probably won't be upgrading these then. And just hope that the next batch is good. I don't know, they have some amount of potential. If you want to upgrade them, they're definitely possibly worth considering. If you've been looking to upgrade something other than the 6 full AoE Doom weapons that you already have maxed, and you're looking for another set to upgrade. But overall, it's going to be just above average weapons. Even at above average, they're not going to be like extremely meta, I don't feel like, for much. But you never know, they might get used into something. And they can still be tested even without their upgrades, obviously. There's a bit less damage, and if you like how it plays out, you can just upgrade it then. If a specific one interests you, you don't necessarily need to upgrade all 6 of them. But, yeah, the second best of all the Doom weapons. That's a pretty low bar given how bad most of the Doom weapons are. Anyways, this Friday we're getting a new faction. So here are the 4 faction troops that we're getting. And just a little bit about them. So first for the rare, we have deal magic +5 damage to an enemy. And if there's 13 or more brown gems on the board, deal triple damage. We have a couple other troops that are already kind of like this, and this is just a brown counter one. As far as its traits, it does have stealthy, so it won't be able to be targeted directly, which is somewhat relevant for when you're doing a peer faction in this place, as he is a brown himself. So the fact that you can't do triple brown to the thing that they have that does triple brown will probably be a little bit annoying. However, that also means they can't do triple brown to your triple brown, which might be a little bit beneficial because that means your triple brown will not die and the AI might miss and use it on something that isn't brown, like the legend. As far as the legend, it is Queen Beatrix, and it ends up doing a crate 9 green and brown. Hey, where have we seen that before? Then deal magic divided by 2 +6 true scatter damage. There are independent 40% chance to gain a extra turn, and half the mana back. So quite a few things that we end up getting here. So the main thing that this thing is missing is the guarantee extra turn, obviously, with only having a percent chance to do so. But this is almost like a mini truffle in a way. Obviously nowhere near the actual viability of a truffle, but it's almost like true damage truffle in a way. It's almost want to say like Rowan 2, but it doesn't have enough boost ratio. Like, it doesn't gain any boost ratio for its damage output, which is quite unfortunate. Kind of wish they would have added something. But yeah, it creates about the same amount of gems as a truffle, a little bit less. Does true scatter damage, which is an okay amount. It's not going to be excessively high, but it does do twice of its magic. So if it has, let's say, 50 magic, that's 106 true damage scatter, which is still pretty low since there's only about 25 or 26 damage to each enemy. And then there's just the two different rolls. They said independent 40% chances, which basically means it is theoretically possible. One interesting interaction about this troop, which I believe is going to be the first of its kind in the game. And I kind of wanted this in the past, and they actually added this into this troop. I wish they would have added this to something a little bit more interesting than like a alternative truffle. But, well, it's not really alternative truffle. It's a completely different role, even though it's somewhat similar. But anyways, basically, it's possible that this troop casts and both has an extra turn and all of its mana, which is probably the biggest gimmick that this has. I don't know what the percent chance for that is, but you would have to hit a 40% chance to extra turn, as well as a 40% chance separately of full mana. So if you were to trigger both those independent rolls, yeah, she would have extra turn to full mana, which would be the first of that kind that would do it automatically. Well, I guess it's still percent chance, but, you know, automatically within the ability itself. Theoretically, troops already exist that do this, simply by having extra turn into enough mana accumulation. For example, Truffle doesn't say that he does this. However, he theoretically does this, because if he gains enough mana, then, well, you gain full mana, so it doesn't matter. So this would be interesting. I think the biggest instance this would be more useful than a Truffle, though Truffle's like better in 99% of situations in that regard, is if this thing is blocked by a lot of mana and you're feeding green and blue into other allies due to feeding this up with enchant, I think this could be potentially good, because not only could it full mana itself while being fully blocked on mana, it could also go and feed those green and blue into other troops. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's half mana back. My bad. I thought I said full mana. That's worse. Never mind. This thing's completely useless. No, actually, it could still feed its mana back, at least into itself. But, I don't know. Does it seem so weird? Why would you not do full mana for that? Even if it was full mana, it should still be useless. Fail. Why did I not make it full mana? I guess they were scared to make another Truffle. But anyways, yeah, bottom line, Truffle is better. Don't use this instead of Truffle, is the bottom line that I'm trying to get at here. But anyways, she does have Arcane, though it's not as beneficial, because it's only 2 additional true damage every single time. And other than that, it has a unique trait of cleanse all allies when matching 4 or 5 gems. This is going to be rather interesting in some situations, as it will be a pretty heavy cleanse spam. However, its ability itself isn't really much of a support ability, so a little bit of a weird combination compared to something like, let's say, Divinia, which on both sides, it's a support kind of thing, whereas this thing has offensive and support combined together. So I'm not sure if you'd really bother using this for a cleanse, but I don't know, it might be worth considering. I feel like cast-oriented might be better, but it could still end up working. It just depends on the context of the battle, and if you end up needing it. You have to keep in mind, green and blue both do have a lot of cleanses. You have Mercy, you have Apothecary, you have, isn't it Voice of Orpheus under that coloration? I can't even remember. But there's a lot of low rarity, mid rarity stuff that can help get you cleansed that you might not necessarily need to go out of your way to use something like this. But anyways, so overall, it's an interesting concept for a troop. I'm just not sure it's really going to be that viable for much. Anyways, the rest of the troops in this faction. Moth Mage, it does deal magic divided by 2 plus 1 damage to all enemies. And if there are independent 25% chances, boosted by brown gems at a 1-to-1 boost ratio, to gain an extra turn and half mana back. So this is kind of a similar concept to the other one, except it can boost ratio for brown, meaning on average you'd have, like, let's say, hopefully 10 brown on the board. So that could be about a 35% chance then, though it'll probably average closer to a 33% chance or so. So that would be kind of interesting. Other than that, it has 25% spell reduction. And, yeah, that's that on that. And other than that, this thing has a similar kind of concept, It gains barrier and +1 plus magic armor. Unfortunately, no attack, but at least barrier can negate out a whole instance of damage. So we have that going for it. And other than that, it has, if there are independent 25% chances, boosted by brown gems, which is the same thing. So if there's 5 brown, that'd be 30%. To gain an extra turn and half mana back, same kind of concept. And he also has 50% score reduction, which will help to tank him even better. So he's 50% score reduction, additional armor gain, barrier, and potential extra turn chance. So a lot of things going for him. It's going to be a really luck-based faction, to say the least. And that is everything. As far as other things happening next week, we have ourselves the Tuesday faction event of Frostfire. So keep. So if you've been needing to go get that up for pure faction, you can go do that. We have a Dawnbird, which is that one Phoenix thing for Wednesday for that pet. For Thursday, we have ourselves the Suncrest hero class of Stormcaller, obviously, because now all event weeks will be standardized with their class type. And then we have ourselves a faction, which I was just going over. And that'll be this Friday's weekend-long thing. And that's basically everything happening this week. With the biggest thing, obviously, being the update tomorrow just to go get our new event stuff. And then Friday, where we go get those 4 troops that we just went over. So overall, should be an okay week then. Nothing really going on in between, but a pretty exciting Monday and a pretty exciting Friday. One other thing to consider about that Monday, too, is... Oh, that's just a troop spoilers for the thing. But as I mentioned earlier at the stream, right at the beginning, is these 4 medals, these medals of Chiefs, or however many you have, all of these will be converted into seasons. So we'll finally have seasons for the first time to mess around with. And we'll have that as of Monday. So that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, on Monday we get the event switch and seasons. And on Friday, we get that faction with a couple interesting troops, particularly the Legend. I'm not sure she's going to be overly viable, but can't really pass up a 4x cleanse. Even though there's other options, it's worth considering. The only big issue with it is it's could potentially be stunnable, which is probably going to be its biggest liability. But anyways, let's go kill these out. Get ourselves some monkey XPs. Go from there. Let's see. See that? I know, 4.8. Most of 4.8 didn't really take impact initially, then Sunspirit getting completely obliterated and then reverted back. But, yeah, most of the changes in 4.8 kind of came in over time, like the event week this week, as well as the seasons coming out tomorrow. And the seasons that you get is, of course, based on how much you gotten during the event. And do be mindful, if you still want to buy up the event a little bit, however many tokens you have right now related to the event is, of course, how many seasons you have. However, there is no other way to get those seasons medals other than the event coming around again. So you have to wait an entire month if you want to go get more medals of seasons. So do be wary of that if you're planning on using medals of seasons, is that you won't be able to get more of them for 1 whole month from now. So you might want to consider going a little bit further if you want to have 2 or 3 of them for Guild Wars or for something else over the next month. But do be wary of that, as there's no other way to get it other than specifically through the World Lore events, which then get converted at the end of the World Lore events into seasons, which will be for the first time tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I missed 2 questions. In late game, or in a late part of early game, there's event like playing tennis with rockets. Phrase everything. I'm not sure which thing you're referring to there. Let's see. When you get update 4.8, did you have a delay in guild tasks? Yes. What happened when 4.8 first came out, which is probably what happened on Switch recently when it just came out, is basically what they ended up doing is they made it so all the epic tasks were already completed, just so you couldn't do them. And what, did it glitch out the normal tasks as well? It shouldn't have glitched out normal tasks, but it basically made all of the epic tasks completed. It doesn't give you the loot for them, but it does give you the bonus for a week. They're saying we may not be able to donate to guild tasks until Wednesday after the patch updates tomorrow. Oh no, it might just have to be a weird interaction, mostly because they're doing an update midweek. But no, the way that they did it when it launched on every other version is there was a freeze, kind of. You can still donate to the normal tasks. However, the epic tasks were already completed. So I think what they're going to be doing for the Switch version is instead of making the epic tasks already completed for the week, they didn't make it so we gained the loot. They were just completed for the sake of not being able to, donate to them. But I think what they're going to do on Switch is just make it so you can't donate for the first day or two. And then once the update comes around, they'll just make it so you can do both the normal tasks and the epic tasks. So basically, instead of like what they did for other versions where they basically froze epic tasks for several days, they're going to make it so they're going to freeze all tasks for a couple days and then just make it so you can do all tasks afterwards, which I guess kind of works. I don't know. But they did do something somewhat similar when it came out on every other version other than Switch. They gave us 25 gems for the inconvenience. Could have gave more than that. At least they gave something. At least it's something. Alright, that reminds me. Did I ever claim the loot for the other thing? We technically actually don't have to do either of these events, oddly enough. Because Invasions is done now. I forget if I went over this at the beginning of the stream before the spoilers. But yeah. Oh, nice. Major purple. 675 gem value right there. All the other junk we get with it. But, yeah, Invasions we did end up completing out. Which is nice and to be expected. Oh, wow. Like, almost the entire guild did better than me, too. Mostly because I didn't do my battles for today. Because we didn't really need to. I'm pretty sure most people stopped at the same-ish amount. Apparently, I believe that was where tier 3 was. But, yeah, I'm actually, like, one of the lowest on my own Invasions. It's kind of funny. But, yeah, I have no clue what is up with Councils of Chiefs, but, unfortunately, stage 12, we will not get that final one. I know it was discussed a lot this week, but still. This will be changed to scoring from week to week, or month to month. It was something that was already planned to have a scoring change every single month anyways. But I feel like this is going to be one of the more unbalanced game modes for scoring until they figure something out of how they kind of want to structure it when they switch it from month to month. Mostly because the scoring system every single time will be different. So it's harder for them to balance it properly. And they really botched the balancing on it this time around, as you guys can see. But anyways, let's keep going through our daily, get at least a level on Monk, and go from there. We're also getting really close to getting to 20,000 plus gems again. So of course we'll be throwing down some gems for Tower of Doom tomorrow, and then messing with Tower of Doom. But anyways, let's go head over to finish out those, and keep going. Heh, 25 gems. I'm gonna be gem rich. Just showered in gems. Hello, Supplement. Welcome. Yeah, I should have been at least like 50 or 100. Because that's basically a whole few days you won't be able to do guild tasks. Basically meaning that all that loot that you would have gotten otherwise is completely delayed for a few days. Whereas normally some people are like consistently expecting it every single Monday. Because most guilds, or I shouldn't say most guilds, but a lot of guilds can complete out a good number of the tasks on the very first day as soon as it launches. Some of which even complete out all the tasks as soon as it launches. And now they won't be able to for a few days. Okay, let's go kill this out for the Phoenicia team. And then we're pretty much good to go. And don't forget, it is Diamond Day, so you definitely want to go through 50 gems to go get that final pack there. Which ends up giving a guarantee Celestial, 80 diamonds, and 2 gem keys. Pretty good loot, among a few other things that it has. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Phoenicia. And soon all these teams will have to be replaced with teams for tomorrow. Obviously, we won't be going over Delve teams until Friday. But other than that, we will be going over everything else related to it on the Monday. So everything for the Thursday event, which is Stormcaller, so quite a few different options. And we also have yellow Tower of Doom. Which also means we could bring back Finesse. If we wanted to, we can bring back the Finesse. It's a really situational build. But triple Finesse is a thing. A very interesting thing. It's basically like Dwarven Gate. It's very situational Dwarven Gate. A triple Finesse Stormcaller team. Super situational, but it's actually surprisingly strong. And we can do it for next week's event, which I think I might be doing just for the fun of it. I'm not sure if it's the quickest of options, but it's definitely a fun option, to say the least. But anyways, So there's that. And I believe that's all objectives then. So we can go start going on to Monk. Because the only other thing we really have, which obviously we cannot get completed, so I might as well not even do my 4 battles, or 6 battles, is stage 12. But even if everyone in my guild did like another 6 battles, that's probably not enough to cover that gap. Also, with that being said, if anyone's interested in joining the guild, we do still have a spot left. So do let me know. We still need one more person to enter the guild. Can still get all events done, other than Councils of Chiefs apparently. But we still get all the normal events done and all guild tasks and all that good stuff. Man, anyways, let's go and get some monk leveling then. So let's go switch over to the armor and go get ourselves level 88. I believe that's our next level, right? 88 or 89. Pretty sure it was 88. Let's see, where's the team? Where is our Romaine? There it is. With a monk, of course. And never mind, we're already at 88, so we just need to get 89 then. Easy enough. And once we get level 89, we'll end up handing out a code and go from there. Actually, I lied. We'll hand out the code now. My bad. Let's do that now, actually. Oh, I need to mark down where I've actually used up to. We have been giving out some codes during Animal Crossing streams, but let me go give it out here as well. Also, no Animal Crossing stream tomorrow, most likely, by the way. And if I do, it might just be for like an hour or so, just as like kind of a recap of how our Animal Crossing Day 3 went. I think we're going to do one stream for it every single day for the first month at this point. Some days will obviously be quite shorter. But we'll still try doing it kind of as like an update thing for how our first ever month goes. But anyways, guys, there is the redeem code. You put that onto gemsawar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Your redeem code is right over there. Just copy paste the QB and all those other random numbers and letters. And it gives the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. There you guys go. Also, hello, Chad. Welcome. But I'm curious to see how Seasons pans out tomorrow. I might even mention some teams around it. Because theoretically, the game is being updated with Medals of Seasons tomorrow. So it is worth mentioning possibly Medals of Seasons teams tomorrow as well. Or maybe even doing a separate video for it. But I'm probably just going to combine it into the main video. Maybe we'll make a bigger teams list video for it separately. But we'll definitely include it into that video. At least one team, if nothing else. Like a Ketris build and maybe one thing that doesn't use mythics. Also, that's going to be one of my defaults too. Probably like a 20% into 2 seasons. Or even just a 3 seasons. But 20% into 2 seasons seems like a really nice default one. Even though we do have 3 seasons. Because that works for a lot of teams. It might not be the most optimal medal setup for every single team. But it just covers so many grounds as far as what teams that would work for. That combination of medals. It would be also a good Guild War default to have as well. If you're looking for something good to set for Guild Wars. Hey, a gem key from the gnome. Is unfortunately not a gnome event weekend. Next gnome event weekend, I believe, was the weekend of Easter, oddly enough. So if you have free time around Easter, there's that. Though with the virus going around, I'm pretty sure most people aren't doing much for Easter. I know I'm not. I know. I still never did the best teams of 2019 video. I still need to. I still have all the teams saved. I just didn't make the video for it. Soon, TM. Soon, TM. Just like how we're eventually going to be getting a treasure hunt rework in Gems of War. It's something they've been talking about for 2.5 years and we still don't have it. Same as a PvP rework. Which still hasn't been implemented. Despite being discussed for about the same amount of time. It looks like we'll get the treasure hunt and arena rework before the PvP rework though. And treasure hunt and arena rework. Unless they're moving it again. Which has already been moved before. But it's going to be at sometime at the end of this year. Probably an update or 2 prior to the last update of the year. So that means probably September or so. September, October, November. Sometime around there we'll probably be finally getting that. Something they've been discussing for a couple years now. Because treasure hunt has been behind for a while. It's good for gems. But it's not good for much else. And its value becomes increasingly less as you get later into the game. It's pretty good for early game and mid game. But anything beyond that, it loses a lot of its value. Do I think it gets worse then? What gets worse? Okay, we'll take that out for now. Treasure hunt? No, I don't think it'll get worse. There is a possibility they might replace out some of the gem value for other stuff, though. Which would remove one of the main things that treasure hunt is actually still used for, currently. But, I don't know. We'll probably be able to beta test it, so we'll see what happens. We can give feedback on it. Hey, 20 gems. Nice. Every little bit of gems help. And the daily 20 definitely keeps going up. As Bill mentioned, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps out a lot. Greatly appreciated. Helps with YouTube algorithm. Okay, we'll take that down for now. Hello, Joseph. Welcome. Good. Full mana right off the bat. Dead. 48 people watching live. Let's get 48 likes. It is almost never going to equal that. Mostly because some people don't have an account on YouTube when they're watching. But they still count as a view. And also because some people might be AFK. And just watching in the background. You tried and it doesn't work? What, the code? It should work. Did anyone else have a problem with the code? That one should be working. I don't think I gave out the wrong one. Double check that there's not an extra space behind it. Oh yeah, it only works on PC mobile version. I don't think I mentioned that this time. I try to because someone almost always asks. But yeah, it only works on PC mobile version. As all codes do. So if you're playing on any of the console versions, it does not work for any of those accounts. Yeah, the coronavirus situation is getting worse pretty much everywhere. It's pretty bad in the United States, too. And now that they have more testing going on. Which we already knew was going to be really bad in the United States. Because there was very little precautions to it initially. Hey, I got some glory. Nice. Good old glory gnome. With our value. Gosh, is it a gnome event? This is like our third or fourth gnome already. Such a short duration. It's obviously not a gnome event. Sure, it's starting to feel like one though. Got a gem key, got some glory, got some, what do you want to drop? Something good, go. Come on, something of value. 4 gem keys, wow. 500 glory and 5 gem keys within like, about 5 minutes or so of gnomes. It's not even a gnome event. That's pretty good loot. 5 gem keys worth about 9 gems each. That's 45 gems value. And 500 glories has a gem value of about 25 as well, actually. Code is dead already? That was quick. That got spread very, very quick if it's somehow already dead. Leave a like, then try again. That's not how the codes work. I'm surprised if it's already dead, though. That would have been only like 5 minutes or so. Also, one other thing to go check, which might also be dead, but also not dead. You guys should go check this code as well. Wait, let me go grab the one from earlier. Because there's a possibility, due to how few viewers we have when we're doing that stream, and the fact that not everyone there might be for it. Go check that code. This one we already handed out earlier. But we handed out earlier during Animal Crossing. And for that reason, it might be claimed less. Not just that one, but also this one. I'm pretty sure they have already been used to completion. Just because they would spread around. Even if we did have a smaller amount of viewers for when we're doing Animal Crossing. Unless people specifically into it if we're doing Animal Crossing. Wait, the Animal Crossing one was dead after an hour or two? Never mind. I'm surprised that went so quick. Though at least it lasted longer than normal, at least if it lasted an hour. Rather than like 10 minutes or less. I wonder if Salty made this batch less claims. I didn't ask her how many claims each one were. Normally she makes them about 300 or 400. Possibility she might accidentally made them 200 claims. Which might be why they're going so quick. And I have no way of checking. No more codes while chat is on, they die faster. Well, they always get spread regardless. But I can go ask her later how many each one has. Hey, they came with a hefty discount. Or Corona got to them. I know, our codes are infected with the virus. And if anyone still has any other questions, do let me know. I'll make sure to go over them. But yeah, tomorrow at some point we'll be doing a video going over everything that's happening this week, as we did earlier. With obviously the biggest thing being medals. Medals of seasons being added to the game. It's probably the most noteworthy thing happening tomorrow. Yeah, Gems of War doesn't do time-based codes. They're use space. That would be kind of weird if they did a time-based code. Because they would have to be set up to work from the time they are first claimed. Because if they were created with a timer that started as soon as they were created, that wouldn't work. Because a lot of people that get redeem codes, like me and sometimes even Salty to herself and Keylime and whoever else does some streaming here and there, who asks for Salty for some, most of us get them like weeks in advance, the codes that we hand out. So if they had a timer on it, that would not necessarily work unless it started from first claim. Oh, we got ourselves a gnome. Again, pretty good gnome rate for the fact it's not a vault event. Though we finally got a bad drop. Every drop so far has been pretty good. Until he dropped us only 100 souls. How could you? Pitiful drop. Might as well not even get a gnome. It's just a tease at that point. It's like one of his worst. No, it's not his absolute worst, so. It could have been worse. Could have been like a double minor trait stone thing. Which were easy enough to get. We get that in 2 battles. We should only need about 40 more XP or so towards our monk, which might be even closer than that. Actually, let me check. How's our monk progress going? Slowly to 100. Let's see. He's doing decently. That was about right. We got 30 to go. Said 40. Progress. But I'm not sure what hero class I'm going to max next after this one. We're starting to run out of viable hero classes. But yeah, Monk's pretty solid. Can't wait till we actually get it maxed to see what it can do with its actual immunities and everything too. I really want to have it as a guild war option, as it's really safe against things like Frost Mage. Because not only does it have immune to freeze, but also has immune to stun. So unless they're going to curse stun, which is very unlikely to have curse, stun, and freeze on a team, you're going to simply use your stun immunity with your freeze immunity to never get frozen on your first slot. And then still have barrier every round, like a Titan would. You just would have less skull output, but you'd be a lot safer against Frost Mage. Which I feel like is the main thing Monk is going to be used for. Obviously, there's several situations here and there that it can be. They're situational. However, the biggest one is Frost Mage counter. He is really good first slot Frost Mage counter when fully maxed. Is Obsidius worth crafting? No. I would not really go too far out of your way for Obsidius. It's one that you'd probably want to get as about your 12th or so craft or so. Like, it's a good utility to eventually have. However, I feel like I don't really use it too much. 4x stun is very situational. Especially since the 4x curse and the 4x stun combos still aren't the best. Obviously, Obsidius would be used for that. But the other component of it isn't really too good yet. At least in synergy with Obsidius anyways. Yes, Monk would work for... oh, you mean Obsidius for Guild War Defend. Yeah, Obsidius would work really good for one of your Guild War Defend days. Not sure which day would be the absolute strongest to use it for, though. But it would definitely work. Not only does it have 50% scroll reduction, but it also has, obviously, 4x stun. Which can be very impactful with other effects. Like freeze or Death Mark. Like if you're using a life and death team with Obsidius. Which is a very annoying combo. Who's better and why? Shadow Dragon or Web Spinner? Do you mean with Scorpius team or with in general? In general, Web Spinner. In Scorpius team, Shadow Dragon. But no, Web Spinner in 99% of situations is better. Though one of the situations, oddly enough, where our Shadow Dragon is better is if you're using it with the Scorpius meta team for Explore 12. One of the few situations where Shadow Dragon is stronger than it. Actually, it might be the only situation, actually, where Shadow Dragon is stronger than Web Spinner. Why is Shadow Dragon stronger? Mostly because it can feed purple rather than green. And the reason for that is Shadow Dragon can feed directly into Scorpius, whereas Web Spinner cannot. Yeah, Web Spinner is extremely devastating in first slot. It has triple damage on every skull. It has for about a year. I feel like we haven't gotten anything too meta shifting yet this year. I think the biggest meta shifting thing that we're getting this year, or, you know, for the year of 2020, is, oh, what's it called? We're getting, seasons tomorrow. And I feel like seasons will be one of the bigger ones. That'll change up meta a little bit. Not, like, drastically, obviously. But, it's definitely an interesting meta, to say the least, as far as, the range of stats that it gets covered. And the amount of additional, durability that it adds. Because a lot of things will now have 8 additional, 12 additional durability. 8 or 12. Where they wouldn't have, or sorry, I keep forgetting. It's, 8 total per thing. So you have 16 or 24, additional durability. Obviously, you can still run that now. However, now it's going to be ran even more, since it also gives such a wide range of stats, including attack, offensive capabilities. So now stats, as far as durability, will be overall higher as of tomorrow. It's because seasons will be a lot more common, compared to running, like, magic or something. Obviously, magic will still be used. But, seasons will take high priority over many other medals, particularly initially. Do you think, in this invasions, one can make it through with only epic troops using Mang? Yes, I've done it before. I've gone through entirety of tier 3 invasions on a level under 1000 account using just Mang and not even using the epic troop, which I only had an epic. I didn't even bother upgrading it. But yeah, I soloed it with just Mang and support troops. As long as you have Titan level 40, it's possible to solo invasions with only Mang. You'd have to have good working knowledge of the board and what troops do in general in, like, that game mode. But it is possible to solo tier 3 invasions with only Mang and nothing else. You would ideally want to have your Titan at level 70, though it can be done at level 40 Titan. .40 is the minimum, because obviously the main thing you need to do that is barrier every brown. It's the main gimmick that actually allows that to happen. But yeah, we did that at like level 300, 400, 500. I forget what level we were. But we did it on our Nintendo Switch account a year ago. We soloed invasions with just Mang. Because obviously at that time we had basically no troops at all. Oh, let me take her. Take that for now. Do keep in mind it's a lot slower doing things with only Mang. And you notice a few things behind it. But it can win almost every game mode in the game. Mang set to Titan can win almost any battle. Maybe not 100% rate. And it might be way, way slower than other options. But there's almost no battle that Mang Titan can't win. If you're referring to this week, you would use it with Fist of Zorn. Because she has Empower to attack gain plus skulls. Even if you don't have her fully traded, she would still create skulls to synergize with it. Okay, we're almost there. And we'll still need another 11 levels. But luckily we have 14 days till next Guild War. So, or, you know, we have 2 whole weeks. So, we still have plenty of time. Even if I only did 1 per day, we'd have way more than enough levels. Because we only need 11 more. Oh, there we go. Level 89. Nice. Objective complete. Is there a general best class for beginners? Titan. Titan is the overall best well-rounded hero class for everything. And is advised to be the first hero class you ever do. On my Nintendo Switch account that we started a year ago, though I haven't really been playing for the last several months, but the only hero class I bothered leveling was Titan. There's really no point in using anything else. Well, there are other hero classes that are obviously situationally better than Titan. Titan can run for any team composition in the entire game. He just covers every single option. He can do cast-oriented. He's good at not dying. He has really high skull impact if you want to go and make him into that. And he just has a really wide range of what he's capable of doing. He also has a lot of abilities that are extremely safe and easy to learn. But yeah, you get Titan hero class from completing out Stormheim. Definitely 100% advised doing, as it will make things a lot easier getting that thing leveled, particularly once you get to 40, and even more so once you get to 70. It doesn't gain as big of a benefit from 100, but still helps it out by having immune to stun and some other immunities. But yeah, the most important thing about Titan is the fact that it gains additional damage, has a quick start, and it has barrier every round. That combination of factors makes it really well-rounded, because he has really high initial high impact, while also having a really good chance of not dying. Oh yeah, you get it from Stormheim. Did I not mention that? I feel like I was like trying to mention it while I was saying that and then didn't. But you get Titan hero class from Stormheim Kingdom if you haven't already completed that out. You do the quest line, then you complete out the little class thing that takes like a few minutes, and then boom, you unlock the Titan hero class. However, it takes a bit longer to get to level 40. That could take a week or so, or less, depending on how much you grind. Could be done in a single day if you grind hard enough, but realistically, it would probably take a couple days to get Titan up. If anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I think I might be starting to wrap up for the night, so do let me know. And of course, tomorrow we'll cover the event video, and we'll finally have seasons. So tomorrow night, we'll probably be messing around with the medals of seasons. Plus, we'll also be messing around with Tower of Doom, because of course, Tower of Doom is tomorrow night. Or actually, all of next week, but you know, first day of it tomorrow. It's pretty much the standard yellow Tower of Doom, and yellow is one of the better kind of colors for what kind of troops we have. I don't think as many things upscale as well for yellow, but I think we're going to mess around with finesse, because that was pretty fun the last time. So I think we're going to go and mess with finesse again, triple finesse into like a Doom weapon or something, just for fun. Is there a certain weapon you should be looking for? Not necessarily. The two most useful weapons you actually get for free. It's Mountain Crusher and Mang, both of which you likely already have, which you get from putting into Brown-Red Mastery. The Mountain Crusher you just get from going into Brown, but on your way to Mang, you would end up getting Mountain Crusher. But it's those two weapons are probably the most noteworthy ones that you get for free without going out of your way at all for them. Some other ones to consider are 250 wins off of some hero classes. For example, Essence of Evil is kind of like Mountain Crusher with a really big disable. It's not as much mana accumulation, but it's really high impact for upscaling against harder enemies, because it completely disables them with every stats effect in the game, which is pretty effective, while still doing mana accumulation. That you get from 250 wins off of Plague Lord hero class. And there's a few other hero classes that have some okay weapons. Like, for example, the Sentinel hero class, 250 wins on it, ends up giving you a shield, which can boost your armor, which is used particularly with Rowan, which you get for free from completing out the Forest of Thorns questline. And that upscales your armor on Rowan. Other than that, Skeleton Key, as was mentioned by Army Xtube, is from Thief hero class, 250 wins on that. It's a great weapon to use with Cedric. However, I would not advise getting it prior to Cedric, as it kind of requires you owning at least one Cedric to really be usable. And you get Cedric specifically from opening up Vault Keys. Next Vault event is in 2 weeks. It's actually Easter weekend will be the next Vault event, which basically gives you a higher chance of finding treasure gnomes, which have a bunch of loot. Found several of them this stream. They can appear whenever, but they have a higher chance during Vault events. And also, they have a drastically higher chance of giving you Vault Keys during a Vault event. And other than that, what other weapon from a hero class or obtainable easily is good to get? I think that's most of them. I feel like I'm forgetting at least one or two. But Mountain Crusher and Mang, the ones you get just naturally from leveling, are some of the most noteworthy. You probably see me using them more so than almost every other weapon. mainly because they just cover a lot of ground. Mountain Crusher gives one of the highest mana accumulation impacts of any weapon in the entire game. And actually, it might be the actual highest. I don't think anything else is higher than it. Some other things gain like a higher overall value, and that it does mana accumulation and some kind of other effect. But if you're looking just for mana accumulation, Mountain Crusher has the highest impact of any specific hero weapon. And other than that, Mang is really good at upscaling your skull damage. It has the highest amount of skull gain for a single target in the entire game. And it can upscale to pretty much any amount. Oh, so hello, Melissa! Welcome. I gotta grab that. Get our splits in there. Yep, no problem for the info. And no problem for the help. Oh, no, that's fine. I love answering the questions. Oh, yeah, we stream every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is an hour prior to now if you're in a different time zone. Just whatever 1 hour is prior to now is what time we stream every night. And tomorrow we'll be doing Tower of Doom, probably with Finesse. And we'll also be messing around with the new Medal of Seasons, which, don't forget, if you do want to stock up on that, Medal of Seasons can only be obtained once every month for a week during the World Lore event. And this is the last day of the World Lore event, so you won't be able to get Medals of Seasons for an entire month if you don't stock up on those trait stones now. Obviously, you might not want to overly waste on the game mode, but just if you're interested in getting more. Like if you're trying to aim for 2 or 3 Medals of Nisha, you would need to do so within the next few hours. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait an entire month, which isn't that bad to have to wait, obviously, and just get it then. It'd be way cheaper gem-wise. However, some people might want it for Guild Wars or other purposes. We have 3, but it's definitely not necessary to have 3, though it is advised to have at least 2. So it's not too big a deal if you don't, but it definitely would be helpful for various things. Oh, sorry, what was your question, Supplement? Didn't see it. Let's see. Think about the badge, how they can buff Arachnia. They're likely going to buff Arachnia to 6 attack. Will it be useful if they do that? Probably not still. I think Seasons will still be overall better. Just because what would you rather have? 8 attack or 16 durability? Or sorry, what would you rather have? 2 attack or 16 durability? And if you weigh those 2 aspects, or sorry, not 8 durability, but still, you're basically weighing... if they increase Arachnia to 6 attack, which is the most likely change they would do to it, if they weren't to completely overhaul what the thing does. But if they were to make Arachnia 6 attack, which is the most likely thing they'll do, you have to basically weigh which one is better. 2 additional attack or 8 additional durability. And in most situations, 8 additional durability would be the better choice, which is what Seasons does. So even if Arachnia gets buffed, I feel like it's still going to be dead content compared to Seasons. Because there's no way they're going to buff it to 8 attack. And the only other thing they could do is maybe completely overhaul what the badge does, but I highly doubt they would do that. Yeah, it would still be useful for Iron Gut, true. Yeah, it would be one of the few situations you would still use Arachnia. If they buffed it to 6 attack, Arachnia would be the best option for Iron Gut. Because you would gain a 6 additional attack over using Seasons. There's an Orpheus. That keeps still throwing me off, the fact that we get Orpheuses. Because I'm still so used to it being called Cedric. So when I see Orpheus, it's like, oh, a new medal. It's like, oh, wait, never mind. It's just a rename. I really wish they would have initially just named it Orpheus, though. Not sure why they didn't. It would have made so much sense, and they didn't do it. But anyways, guys, do you guys have any other questions? Otherwise, let's go grab our tribute. Check whatever that mail randomly is. I'm not even sure if that is anything. And, oh, yeah, this was the redeem code we took earlier. Same reward as always. It's already been used up, though. At this point, 2 turn maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. We'll have another one tomorrow night, of course, for the redeem codes. How Arachnia badge look like then? What do you mean? It's going to still have the same visual appearance. They're just likely to increase it to 6 attack rather than the current 4. I'm not sure if they would really make any kind of different change to that. This just seems like the most likely thing they would do to it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay safe out there. And as I mentioned, we'll be back tomorrow night, an hour prior to now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you all enjoy your week. Tomorrow we'll be getting medals of Seasons coming into the game, as well as the new event week. And tomorrow night we'll go mess with Tower of Doom, Yellow Tower of Doom, as well as Seasons, which will be the first day that we get the new medal. And that's basically the last new feature that we're getting from the most recent version 4.8, about a week and a half ago. So we got that to look forward to. And of course, this Friday we'll be getting a new faction, and we will be doing pure faction grind and all that. Oh, he means badge value? No, it's going to have the same value. Wait. With the buff, the badge, when metal will be a6 attack? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But it won't be used too much at 6 attack. The only things that would be used if it was to be buffed from 4 to 6 would be Iron Gut and any score-oriented team that is safe enough that it wouldn't need the durability. So in those few situations, like if you didn't care if your troops died or had the durability already that they wouldn't die, the extra 6 attack that you would get from 3 Arachnias would outweigh the extra durability you would get from 3 seasons. But it's very situational. When in most situations, even if Arachnia is buffed, seasons will be better than Arachnia in almost every single instance, because it gives a nice range of still having extra offense while having higher durability, so you don't accidentally die. Badge is normally 1/4 of the metal. What do you mean? Badge is normally badge is normally 1/3 of a metal. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm not sure what they would do for that then. If they make Arachnia 6 damage, they can't make 1.5 attack. So yeah, I guess they would probably make it 2 attack, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good question. I have no clue what they would do if they did make if they made the metal 6 attack. I'm not sure what they would make the badge. I guess 2, and it would just be an outlier of it not being 1/4 the value. Yeah, I didn't think about that because they obviously can't do 1.5 attack, but they'll figure out something for it. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. See you soon, and thank you all so much for watching. Bye, everyone.